The Chevy Sprint. About the lowest priced car on the range.
Did you go, rabbit? All right, status report. It is now day 20. I am 3,600 miles into my trip. It is Tuesday, May 11th, and I'm at Big Bend National Park. I got apparently the last camping space in the entire park. It's gravel pit, and they only had one space left. And basically they said my car couldn't do it. And I told them that if my car couldn't make it, I would camp anywhere they wanted me to. And they said there wasn't any place else, so I told them to keep the $10 as a donation if I couldn't make it out the road. I made it out the road and spent all day swimming, bathing, splashing around, taking a nap in the Rio Grande with just some horses and cows. It was pretty nice. Let's see, last night I spent the night in Alpine. This morning I hit some cafe that was recommended that was alright. The Museum of the Big Bend. The stable, I guess. Guy's performance car collection. Before that, let's see, I did Carlsbad Caverns. Prior to that I did Santa Rosa. Now Santa Rosa is where I took a couple days and stiffened up the shocks, or the springs in the back. It looks like I broke one of those blocks. That's something I got to do this morning. As for the car, let me see. I think the biggest problem I've got right now is my deep cycle battery is not holding a charge. So I have put it in a standard configuration, so it basically uses both batteries as one battery, which means I've got to manually disconnect it if I'm going to use any of the deep cycle stuff, and the deep cycle stuff doesn't last very long at all, and it won't start unless I reconnect it to the main battery. So I'm not really sure. I probably should find a place to jettison that dead battery if it's not going to do anything. I don't need to be carrying the weight. The weight is still too much on the left-hand side. I guess I need to move the spare over to the right. Well, let's just go through the whole car. Okay. So, cooling system. I think I need a radiator cap because the gasket around it is cracked and it's starting to let fluid go before it warms up all the way. So I don't really know. I think I'm going to try to have somebody bring one in for me, or maybe I'll have to run back out to Alpine. The fan is working, but it draws quite a few amps, so it can kill the battery if I'm not too terribly careful. The carburetor, the zip tie broke again. Put that on. The wire that I put on the choke, that seems to be holding. Still getting a little bit of blow by on the pistons, even after the stop leak, but the air filter looks a lot cleaner than the old one did. It seems to be holding oil. It is leaking a little faster than it was. It looks like it's coming out of the oil pan gasket. I've gone around and tightened it, everything again. So that's just how that's going to be. Let's see. Yeah, I think the car is doing pretty well. The window keeps coming off the track. I put in a voltmeter, and I got a full gauge cluster, but I couldn't get my oil pressure sending unit off because it's in between the motor mount bracket, so I got a socket for that. So at some point I'll pull that apart. Seems to be doing all right. My tires are a little chewed up. I rotated those in Roswell before I went to Bottomless Lake State Park, which is a really cool state park. So now I've got both of my directional tires on the front facing the wrong way, and one of which is super worn because of the camber, because of the weight. So now my contact patch has basically been cut in half. What else? Oh, I've got all my routes programmed except for routes 3 and 4. There are 9 routes this weekend. One being Mexico, which I guess that's going to be the one I'm going to do Friday. And then I looked at the routes for Saturday and Sunday. One of them is the national park. One of them is the state park. Neither of them look too intense, so I think I'm going to try to figure out a way to combine my Google My Maps so I can see all the waypoints on one map, I guess, and then create a route between all of the waypoints and see if we can't do that a little bit more efficiently. Or I might just play it by ear. I don't really know if I care that much. Yeah, I guess that's it for now. All right, here I am back in Alpine. I ordered a thermostat for the car. radiator cap. They said it would be here today. Of course, it wasn't on the truck. They called everywhere, couldn't get one. They said it could get one tomorrow. Said that was too late. So they rummaged through the bin, and I was able to find one that works. Other news, my sunburn is awful. They call it Hell's Itch, which means I'm taking Zyrtec and hydrocortisone 10 to not feel like I'm on fire every few hours. Oh, I went to that bookstore again, and they had almost all of the other books in the Hitchhiker's Guide series that I picked up in Roswell, so I bought the rest of those. Paid more than a quarter, but at least I can break into that when I get home. I got a bag of 10 McDonald's hamburgers. Yesterday, some bum gave me a Little Caesars pizza, hot and ready, that was, well, it was ready. I don't really care for pizza, and I don't really care for Little Caesars pizza, but when somebody gives you one, it tastes a little sweeter. Oh, in other news, the deep cycle battery that I had crashed. It was an 85 amp hour that came with the trailer that we bought. All the date and markings and everything had been rubbed off of it. They put a load tester on it, and it just nosedived. So I picked up the next cheapest one they had, which is a dual purpose, so it's actually starting as well if I have to use it for that. It's only 65 amp hour, which I figure is probably what mine was for most of the time that I used it. But it weighs about half as much. So maybe I can make it home with these tires.